They're about to come out in 70 acres of awesome woods. And the first thing I'm thinking photographically is I don't at all know what to expect, which I guess is part and parcel with this situation. And because of that, I'm going to be having the 24 to 70 zoom lens. This allows me to get as wide as a 24 millimeter, so a wider angle, but as close as 70 millimeters, so I can go in close. And this is really one of the best lens choices to use in a situation like this, because when you don't know what's going to happen, you can respond pretty quickly. The other thing I'm going to do is keep a relatively fast shutter speed. And that's because I don't know if they're going to slowly walk out or leap. And what I don't want to happen is for them to move so quickly and I miss it because I'll have unintentional blur because I didn't have a fast enough shutter speed. In addition, because I still don't know what they're going to do, I'm going to make sure my aperture is set to a wider scope of focus. Instead of shooting at maybe an f2.8, I'll be shooting at f4. So depending on which way they move, I'll have a wider ability to grab that focus on them. So what I'd like to do is kind of get closer and closer, and I'm shooting at an f2.8 now, changing my angle to him, and I'm just going to keep going a little bit closer until he decides he doesn't want me there and leaves me, which kind of reminds me of my ex-boyfriend. I'm keeping two things in mind as I'm shooting. One is that I am shooting with a longer lens, the 70-200, and the other component I have to consider is I don't have a tripod, I don't have a monopod, because apparently they'll mark it with their butts. The second thing to keep in mind is when I'm actually holding the lens, there's a temptation to hold it somewhere like this as I'm running around, but that doesn't really support it. I want to try to keep remembering to hold it like this, which gives me more support, and to actually use myself as a tripod to kind of sturdy myself as much as possible. And even when I take the click right here, to not quickly move the camera away, which can cause more issues. So it's a few extra things to keep in mind when hand holding a heavier, longer lens.